Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Islam podcast. I'm your host Abdullah Patel. Glad to be hosting again. So my second time hosting this season, and inshallah, we have a fun episode ahead with a couple of guest GMs as well as a familiar face on the season's podcast. So, without further ado, I'll introduce our first guest. He's no stranger to the podcast. You've probably heard his jokes. It is Mr. Faisal Mehboob Foster. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you.
That's great
Glad
to
to be
hear.
back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. And no Habibi costume this time. So
It's not
you know,
Halloween.
it's not Halloween. Maybe on the finals when we'll see you dressed up as Santa Claus or something. So yeah. Our first guest is GM of Ikhlas, Yusuf Mohammed. Assalamualaikum, Yusuf.
Sams, like Sam.
So we have a lot to talk about today, and Yusuf has a really big game coming up. And our other guest is the other Yusuf, who's a GM, Mr. Yusuf.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum.
So
So how are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling after this week 10?
We got a big game coming up this week to hopefully clinch first. So we'll just move forward and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure. I think we'll do a recap of the game, but Yusuf, you had quite a performance. 4 goals. I think you scored on each corner of Yusuf Kapoor. You had like the top right, top left, and then bottom right, bottom left. So we'll go into that later in the game. But to start off, we have a message from our newest goalie in the league, Mohamed Mughal. It's just as a reaction to kind of the waiver claim and getting claimed and joining the league. So we'll just start with kind of a message from him.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Just putting this video together for the podcast this week, providing my thoughts and feedback. Glad to be back in Islam. It's been a couple of years since I've played a full season. I've played backup throughout the years, and I believe 3 times this season as well. It's just been tough to commit on Friday nights between family, personal, and work. So anyway, as you may have heard, I got the call, actually a text message from Yakin GM RC Arslan. Zaid Maji was dropping out due to injuries, so he asked if I could play and explained that I would have to clear waivers. So surprisingly enough, Sabr called me. Sabr picked me up, and which is all good. I know quite a few brothers on the team: Habibi, Hamoudi, Hamza Abdullahi, Hashim Chaudhry. So looking forward to playing with the boys and the rest of the team. We're in a tough position right now. We've got 2 games left. We're fighting for a playoff spot between Ikhlas. So I'm hoping to contribute as best as I can. As long as our boys focus on their game and we've got the attendance coming out, all the players coming out, and we should be in a good position. So let's see, inshallah. Anyway. Lastly, and more importantly, may Allah have mercy on His mankind, on the Ummah, all our brothers and sisters, all the children in Palestine, and all over the world. Peace, unity and love are of utmost priority. So be kind to one another, take care of each other, and stay united. Inshallah, look forward to seeing everybody this Friday. Just have a good week and take care. Assalamu alaikum.
So I think we had quite a reaction last week, kind of with the waiver. A lot of people weren't expecting it, he didn't have the best game on Friday, but we'll get into that kind of soon. So to start off, the first game of the evening, Haya versus Ikhlas. Haya needed a win or a point to clinch a playoff spot. Ikhlas would have clinched with a win, and Haya ended up coming victorious 3-2. But they were also missing, I believe, both of their GMs. I know Maz wasn't there, and I believe Luke wasn't there, or maybe Luke was there. But they were missing a couple of their good guys, and a lot of people, even from the higher side, were really surprised. Yusuf, Mohammed, and
Yep.
Faisal, you both played in this game.
Awesome.
Yeah, you guys both played in this game. So what were your thoughts, and kind of how did this game play out?
Yeah, I think it was a disappointing loss. Considering that they're missing three of their top guys. I think they're missing Maz for sure, Imad, and Hussein Malik. So it should have been a lot more one sided. Started off good, went up 2-0, and then kind of let off the gas, and then we tried to get it back in the end with the with the pulled goalie, but we just couldn't get it. But yeah, I think we just need to play a little better. Obviously, go hard all the way. Foster, what do you think?
So my sentiments pretty much that. Like I think we had a good first period. Into the second half, I mean, playing a team that was short benched and missing like such a star player like Maz, we should have really taken it to them and buried them in the first half. But unfortunately, we played into their game, which we shouldn't have. We should have stuck to our strategy, played our game, and buried them in the first half, and then just coasted from there. But instead, we allowed them to just stick around, and this kid Hamza Gaya scored the winning goal, and that was it. So I think moving forward, we can't play it like that at all. Like if we're gonna go deep into the playoffs, there's no way. Given an opportunity, we got to just bury the other team and then coast, as opposed to trying to play right to the final minute.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I think I caught the tail end of this game, and it was really surprising. Like Abdulaziz Khan saying, Haya had 3 subs, and kind of I know Ikhlas, you guys, the whole season, I think every single one of your losses has been within 1 or 2 goals, and I think you guys still are in a good position, but we were just really surprised because we thought both Iman and Sabr would be kind of coming from the league chatter. We thought both Iman and Sabr would be eliminated kind of from playoff contention, but with your loss, Sabr got to live to see another day. Yusuf Siddiqui, did you catch this game at all?
I didn't catch this game. No, my game was at 10.
No worries. But yeah, it's good to see Hamza Gaya on the score sheet and the first star again. I think this is like his second or third time being first star of his game. So a really, really good pickup for Haya. I think they got him lower than like the 7th round. So an absolute steal, honestly, for Haya so far. But yeah, that was game 1, and it really shaped up the rest of the evening to be really kind of an interesting and really exciting evening. The second game of the evening, Ihsan was playing Sabr. Sabr, kind of a win would have tied them, or a win would have put them in a better position, but Ihsan came out shooting on all guns, winning 6-0. And shout out to Riaz Hussein, who played 2 games that week. He played for Ihsan, and he also played for Iman. Obviously the Ihsan score a little bit better for him, but Osman Butter, first star of the game, 3 goals, 2 assists. Riyah, second star with 17 saves, and then Dawood with 3 assists. Did any of you guys catch this game? Foster, Yusuf? Yeah,
I caught the tail end of it.
Yeah. I think we both caught the tail end of it. Yeah, I just remember a really, really good goal from, I think it was Osman, probably from Dawood. Other than that, I don't really remember it too much. But it's a great team. One of the top teams. It's just kind of the score you would expect with their kind of talent.
Yeah, I think. All right, Foster, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, obviously they handed it to Sabr. Like the scores reflecting of that. I know, great game. My only comment, which I thought, take it for what it is, it being up and the game being at runtime, I just felt that they probably should have let their first line sit and let some of the third line guys play a little bit more. So, when I came outside, I mean, the score was already ran up, clock's running. They should have allowed some other guys, out there, get their time in, get some minutes. I thought that would have been a little more sportsmanlike. But I was kind of surprised to see some of their, top for first line guys out there with less than 5 minutes left and the game's already, out of hand. So that's one thing, one comment I would make on that.
Yeah, for sure. I think we, as the OC, we also tell the GMs to kind of be reflective with game time. And I think Ihsan was missing. Looking at the score sheet, they were missing 4 guys, I think. So it might have just been the guys that were on third line were just not fresh to go out or whatever. But yeah, I think I saw this game. The first half was a real one-sided affair. I think Suber really brought it a little bit better in the second half. Maybe Ihsan took the foot off the pedal, but it was 4-0 at halftime. The first goal coming, I believe, in the first four minutes, and then it was just back to back from Osman, from Ali, from Riz, from Dawood. And I think with the addition of Osman to this team, some people might say that losing Wasim Voda made Ihsan weaker, but I think from a chemistry side, they really did get stronger.
I would agree with you there because the 3 of them, the 3 musketeers, Osman Butter, Rizzi Kaler, and Ali Wadi, those guys have been playing together forever. So they have a really good chemistry. They play top tier hockey. They know what they're doing. And I mean, it's hard to handle those guys. So I think to some degree they actually got better.
I think if they keep playing like this, they have a good chance of making a deep playoff run.
Yeah, Yusuf, I'm interested to hear your take. You've also obviously played in the Greenbird system, kind of in juniors, and
these are some good players.
Being around Ali, Osman, Riz, kind of how was their kind of influence, and how do you think you kind of reflect that in your game?
Honestly, they're all great leaders too. Every single one of them. They have great communication. And they just they know where each other are on the arena, so it's so easy for them to make plays happen, and the ball just ends up in the net, and it's that simple. They're that good.
Yeah, so, for sure. And they are also fighting for that place, the second place. So and I think if you lose the next 2 games and they win, they could potentially take you over. So how do you think you guys are going to be prepared to possibly face these guys in the semis, possibly in the finals?
Honestly, I think Yakin just has to keep up their play style against these guys. We've played them twice actually, and we have their number. We've beat them twice. And the second game, we were missing a lot of players too.
True. Yeah.
I think the number one thing that can beat them is speed. They have the passing, they have the skill, but they have some older guys on their team, so speed, gets by them, and that's what's going to beat them, I think.
For sure. So yeah, I think they have a pretty interesting game this week against Iman. And let's see if they're going to be, kind of coming out full strength. But moving into the third game of the night, me and you, Yusuf, we played in this game. So Rida and Yakin tied 4-4. This was honestly, maybe from a biased perspective, I thought this was the game of the season. This game was back and forth right from the get-go. You scored on the first shift. We tied it up a couple minutes later, and then you scored again. We tied it up. You scored again. We tied it up, and then you got a power play. You scored with a minute left. I think everyone thought this was going to be the winner, and then we scored with 30 seconds left to tie the game. So what were your really thoughts kind of from the get-go, and how did you kind of see this game?
This game was really back and forth. Every time I would score, your team would come back out and just have a surge of energy, and you guys would put one in, and then I would put one in, and then you guys would put one in. It was a really fun game to play in, and it was really even, and both teams showed that they have what it takes, to score, put in 4. And yeah, it was an amazing game to play in.
Yeah, for sure. Yusuf, did you catch this game? The other Yusuf?
Yeah, yeah, I would agree that this is probably, I think it was the most entertaining Iceland game I've seen. Bully went crazy with some crazy like tic-tac-toe inside out, top shelf goals. Your goal was nice too, and also obviously Yusuf Siddiqui just dominated. Yeah, definitely. I'm thankful you weren't here, Yusuf, when we played. I mean, you guys still beat us 6-1, but it would have embarrassed me, man. This was definitely one of the games for the Bucks.
Foster, what are your thoughts? You were shaking your head when I called this game of the season.
Yeah, it's definitely not a game of the season, but it was a solid game. I will say that. And Yusuf, that's amazing. 4 goals in a game and all quality goals. No empty netters. So that is that is impressive.
Thank
I'm
you.
actually surprised you didn't get or am I speaking too soon? We'll get to that.
I think you might be
Yes.
speaking too soon, but
Okay, so zip
Yeah.
zip. But yeah, I mean a 4-goal performance. I mean that's awesome. I mean, kudos to you. That's stellar. They're all quality goals. And it was a very exciting game. Not the game of the season, but it was a very, very exciting game. It was fun to watch.
for sure. And I think it was fun to play in too. Like, we kind of the first time we played you guys, we had one guy on the bench and we lost 6-1. And I think you and your brothers had like 12 points between you guys. You guys are just stat padding against us. But I think we really felt that this game was like, there were a couple of times we made a couple of mistakes, and we were in the locker room thinking, man, like, we really stuck in there with the number one team. And we kind of were, not obviously you don't play for a tie, but I think the tie we would have taken kind of going into the game against the first place team. And funny enough, we both end up on the 3 stars. So yeah, it'll be fun kind of to see. With this tie though, you don't clinch the first
I
place
know.
number 1 seed. You don't clinch the advantage. So just really quickly, for those that don't know, the first place team in the semifinals, first of all, the top 2 get a bye to the semifinals. They don't got to play on December 6th in the quarterfinals. In addition to that, the first place team gets the advantage where they get to choose who they play in the semifinals. So if third place and fourth place both make the semifinals, first place can choose to play any second, third, or fourth place. So if they have a better record against second, it could be a shock pick to pick the higher team. So yeah, I know you guys kind of wanted to get that secured a little early, but you guys got 2 more weeks to kind of get that. So moving into the last game, it was a 10-2 game, Takwa versus Iman. I think anyone that's watching this and seeing the scoreboard is probably thinking, did Iman even play with the goalie? Which, they wouldn't be wrong to question it. But yeah, this Muhib Shah with 6 goals and 1 assist. It is, I believe, a hanger record for Islam for most goals in the game, but it isn't an Islam record, believe it or not. Wasim Bangash, I believe, has 8 or 9 goals in the game one time in the Rink City days. So yeah, we tried to find that stat. We couldn't find it, but we know it's more than 6. And we're getting some comments here. Yusuf Zaidi saying that's Mickey Mouse stats. So Foster, what are your thoughts? I know you kind of have some strong thoughts about this game.
Don't get me going. So when I first heard there was a 10-2 win for Takwa, I was like, wow, they really did a number on them. But getting into the weeds and learning that they pulled their goal, like Iman pulled their goalie, and so Takwa was just running up the score. I mean, it's no surprise that Mohib got 6 goals. You often see him practicing after all the games are done, shooting on an empty net. So he's had ample practice with no goalie there. So I'm sure they just passed it over to Mohib, and he knew exactly how to put it into an empty net. So he could pad his stats a little bit more.
Actually, he actually had a hat trick against Riaz Hussein. So he had 3 goals with the goalie in net. He had a really, really
Get out.
I'm looking at the score sheet right now. He had a hat trick before the empty net, and he had a hat trick after the empty net. So he had a double hat trick. Don't
forget the assist.
And the assist. And his assist was actually with the goalie in net too. So he had 4 points with the goalie in net, a really big performance. I thought, he had a really sick goal kind of right in front of us where he walked in and sniped it kind of on Riyaz. Right, it almost looked like it went through his glove. I'm curious, Yusuf Siddiqui, did you see this game at all, or
I did. I got to catch it. At one point, I do believe it was 3-2 actually.
yeah,
And then as soon as it reached 5-2, I kind of left. And then I get home and I see it's like 10-2, and I'm like, what happened? Like, like it was a close game at one point. Like, how does it? And then I find out all these empty nets went in, and you know, it was interesting.
There was a Tyson fight going on that night. I think a lot of people dipped to go check out the Tyson fight, or or they were huddled around Safe's iPad watching the Tyson fight there.
yeah. Honestly, I understand why they pulled their goalie in the first place, but after the first empty net goal or the second empty net goal, after it was 7-2, you just put Riyaz back in the net, right? There's no way you're gonna score 5 goals with the goalie, without a goalie, and then even at like 8-2, 9-2, and then there were complaints after the game about Takwa shouldn't have scored or they should have not shot an empty net. But if you're just there and Iman was still taking clappers, Iman had no goalie. They didn't want Takwa to shoot on them, but they were still walking in and taking clappers on Khalid Mufti. And so I think, at that point, if you're going to give it, you have to take it. And if you're giving another team, especially with kind of snipers like Asif Bika, Muhib Shah, Kesentini, who loves to, run and tell the referee his number to put him on the score sheet, Kesentini with 5 assists, you're just asking for it. And so, we have Ismail Malik, former Iman player, saying Iman rebuild of the year. So maybe he has some feelings about being kind of traded or given a subber. But he still has a chance at the playoffs. With this loss, Iman is officially eliminated from playoff contention because they mathematically, with the kind of the tiebreaker, they won't be able to overtake any team as they don't have the head-to-head with them. So yeah, we have Asibika here saying a goal is a goal. I agree. And this was the last game of the evening and a pretty big performance. So before we get into the schedule, we'll just highlight the player of the week. And lucky for us, the player of the week this week is on our panel. So Mr. Yusuf Siddiqui, congratulations for winning player of the week.
Exactly.
He had 4 goals and he had a really good video. So we'll play the video and then we'll just get your thoughts again of the game.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I first just like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Hupo. Next, I would like to just say it was a great game this past Friday with Rida and Yaqeen. I had a lot of fun. Finally, I'd like to challenge the following 3 players to get player of the week this coming Friday. First, Muhib Shah. Second, Daud Chiombar. And last but not least, Faisal Foster Mahmoud. And here we go. See you this Friday, boys.
Great
So that was a really, really good video, Yusuf. What was that? Was it like an ice bucket or something?
Yeah, I was
or-
trying to recreate like the ALS ice bucket challenge where you like challenge 3 people, but I kind of did it like it was challenging 3 players for like player of the week.
Yeah.
And
No, that was really good.
Foster obviously has to be one of the people I called out.
Yeah, Foster.
Listen,
What are your thoughts on this call out?
Listen, I'll just read a Dr. Seuss book. If you catch that reference from 50 Cent.
Yeah. So I think this is honestly a really good performance from you. I was really surprised that your brother, I'm looking at the score sheet, Dawood had 0 points. So I don't know if the referees missed his number or whatever, but usually you guys are just passing to each other and scoring, but nonetheless, you were still able to kind of really, really secure that that player of the week. And moving into the next week 11, we have a really good schedule coming up, some good games. And first and foremost, we'll highlight this game a bit more because we have Yusuf Muhammad on the podcast and Foster, is Ikhlas versus Sabr. So that's at 8 o'clock. We're starting the evening off with a bang. Yusuf, I know you guys are probably aware, if you guys win or tie, you get the final playoff spot. with the game to go. How are you guys kind of feeling coming into this coming into this game, and what are you going to do to kind of ensure that you guys secure your playoff spot?
I mean, there's only so much you can do with a short. Never mind, we have a full bench, but I mean, I think it's gonna be a good game. We're gonna play as hard as we can. These guys beat us in the past. Knowing the players on their team, they got Hamza Ali now. They got I think they got Naim Malik too, Ismail Malik as well, if I'm not mistaken. And when they played us, when they were on Iman, they were really good and they were guys to watch out for. So it's gonna be a battle. Knowing the guys on the team, the kind of guys where when it's sink or swim, they're gonna swim, right? So it's gonna be a tough battle. We're to the end, probably very physical. But yeah, just gotta play our game. And yeah, Foster, what do you think?
So, I think this is going to be the game of the night. And the reason why I say that is because Suber is really fighting for their playoff spot here. Like, if they lose or even tie, mathematically they're out. So they're going to bring the heat. And it's going to be a battle right from the start. We need to, really step up. We need to come together as a team. Again, by this time, we have to have some team chemistry going, and we got to really take it to them. Even a tie, I think, although it gets us in mathematically, I think we should be focused on like a solid and decisive win. That's
Yeah, I agree.
that's my opinion, and I know for a fact, like knowing the players on Suber, they're going to bring the heat. Like before the game until the final bell, they're going to bring the heat. So mentally, we got to be there. I know we got some good vets on the team, but we're going to have to muster up the strength and weather that storm.
For sure.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
you guys are also playing Suber with a new goalie, Mohamed Mughal. So he might be looking to kind of reverse the result last week and kind of he has stood on his head a couple of times in the past, for his team. So
Yeah.
yeah, Yusuf, we're getting a comment here. Did you just leak that you don't have a bench this week to the
No.
entire podcast?
No, I don't know why my teammates spreading these rumors as if we're not all there and healthy tomorrow. I'm expecting a stellar performance from him. Normally he's been pretty good for us. So our top scoring leader. So yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
for
I think
sure.
you just keep insider info insider. If it's even real, just not beautiful bench and we're healthy. So just focus
Yeah.
on the game, Yusuf.
Hamza Abdullah, he's saying that he can't wait to score on you tomorrow. So let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
he's
see
a
if he's
good
able to
shooter.
fulfill his promise.
He scored a breakaway on me or two. So yeah, he's definitely one guy I gotta watch out for. Gotta make sure I'm dialed for him. But I think I can take him.
For sure. We're getting a lot of chatter here. We're saying they want your brother Hassan on this podcast instead, and yeah, they're saying that you're not doing your job. So how are you gonna shut up the haters on Friday?
Well, I think I don't really have many haters to shut up except for this guy Solomon Khan, who would be the last pick on the worst team if he was in this league, knowing what little I know about him. He was saying Hamza Guy's goal wasn't that good. He wouldn't have scored on me. He wouldn't have scored that wraparound if it was an empty net. Yeah, he doesn't have really good IQ on the ball, and yeah, he says he's gonna play summer. I'm not gonna draft him. Close friend of mine, but good luck to whoever takes him.
Let's see.
Everyone else, yeah, I don't know what other haters you're talking about. But.
Yeah, Yusuf Siddiqui, I'm interested to see kind of what is Yakin's take on this game. If one of these teams does end up making the semifinals, and you have that pick to choose who to play, who would you choose out of these two teams?
Honestly,
If you would choose these teams,
I think we're comfortable to play either, but I would say we would take Green, Eclas, just because the game we had against them, we were also missing a lot of players that game, and we were still able to put up some good numbers. But playoffs is playoffs. Anything can happen. Teams come out and tons of upsets, and so anything can happen. But I think we would be most comfortable with Eclas.
for sure. And with that, we'll move into the second game of the evening. We have Taqwa versus Rida. It's, I believe, second place versus fifth place. And so with with this battle, Dakwa, a loss would secure also you guys first place, as they beat you guys and they wouldn't be able to kind of catch you with points. So yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting game. I believe we have almost a full bench, but it is possible that we are missing some key players in Altaf and Bully, potentially going to Montreal for a tournament. So I think if that is the case, Rida's going to have a lot of work to do. And yeah, Foster, what do you think is going to be key for Dakwa to keep this win, or to keep their win streak going on?
An empty net by
An
Rida.
empty-
If they have an empty net, they're gonna stack up that score, pad those stats. It'll be crazy. But if there's a goalie in net, it's gonna be completely different. I think they're gonna have a little bit of a challenge there. These guys might not be accustomed to scoring with a goalie in there. So let's see.
Yeah, for sure. Yusuf, what do you think is kind of Rida's advantage, or what does Rida need to do after you just faced them? What do they need to do to beat Dakwa?
Honestly, I think the main thing is your stars have to be your stars. Like your big players have to come out to play, and they did against our team. And you need those guys scoring on all cylinders. So you just need you guys to put the balls in the net, and you guys should be good. You guys have a good goalie. You guys have good defense, so you just need to get those goals in.
For sure. And I think, yeah, like Abdulaziz is saying here, it is a battle of goalies. Mufti and Kapura both have really good seasons. And yeah, I think for us, it's going to have to be with defense, kind of controlling Asif, not letting him take shots. Because, I think he scored from the halfway line like 3 times this season already. So, just anywhere on the ice, don't let him shoot. Same with Muhib. He has that sniper, abilities, despite everything that Foster says. I still think Muhib is, one of the biggest threats in the league when it comes to scoring. And he's the league leader in goals now after his 6-goal performance. So, a goal is a goal. A goal is a goal.
Yeah,
and
what a surprise there.
yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really tough game for us, especially if we're missing a couple of guys. So, inshallah, that's not the case. Yeah, moving into the third game, we have Yakin versus Haya. This is, I believe, 4th versus 1st. Yusuf, what are your thoughts kind of going into this game? Haya, I believe, tied you guys last time?
We won by 1 goal, and it was a
Wait.
goal in the last 10 seconds.
The last 10 seconds, yeah, it was RC's goal, I believe. So
Honestly, I think Haya deserves a lot more credit than they get. They had a lot of close ties early on in the season, but they are a really good team. When you got Lukman, bringing the pace for that team, they have a lot of energy and they run balls down, and they're a really good team, and I think we overlooked them, and I think they have a chance to make a deep playoff run too, and at least get to that semis. But we got to come out and play our game, and inshallah we'll get the win.
for sure. Yeah, I think kind of watching your guys' game, your last goal, it was you kind of ran around the net, and then you found RC at the top of the blue line, and he just kind of ripped one past Hamza Butt. So yeah, it was honestly, this could be the game of the night, the game of the season too, potentially, with how back and forth you're going. And you also have a new goalie. Arcel last week I think was his first game with you guys, so you're still kind of figuring out. I think with a goalie, you're still figuring out, each goalie plays different. Some goalies like to play the ball more. Some goalies, they like to cheat on their post a lot more, and how much kind of leeway you can give. How kind of are you feeling now with a change of goalie, going into the rest of the season as well as the playoffs?
I think even with a change in goalie, you just gotta stick to your game. You gotta. I think Yakin, we have a lot of speed and we have a lot of hustle through our lines, and I think that's what beats teams. And I think we just have to keep that up, no matter who's in net. Give him a bit of confidence that he has a good team playing in front of him, and I think Arsenal will do just fine in the playoffs, inshallah.
For sure. That's good to hear. And Arsenal did challenge me a couple of weeks ago to score on him, and then last week I also did score on him as well. So I think now I have 3 goals on him since his challenge. So it'll be good to see if Maz and the Haya team can be, maybe he'll challenge them to score. So we have a question for Yusuf Mohammed. when you tried to trade your own brother for Hamza Gaya, what was your family's reaction? So I was wondering if you had any comments on this.
So this is not true at all. The Sulaiman Khan guy, I told him to join. He said he can't because he's, studies in Waterloo. But, somehow he always makes it to Saga or even to Islam every Friday anyway. He has nothing better to do on a Thursday night to troll on the Islam podcast. He's been calling Foster Chacho. I don't think Foster even met him before. Yeah, this is not true. I did not try to trade my own brother for Gaia. My family didn't react because it didn't happen.
Okay, this is it's great to know. It's great to know. And honestly, Sulaiman, with the amount of time you spent on the podcast and at the rink, we do have around 30 spots left for winter season. So if you would like to join, please sign up using the link in our Instagram bio. It would be nice to have you actually play in the league instead of just comment from the sides. So we're gonna move into the last game of the evening now. Iman, who is already eliminated from playoff contention, versus Ihsan, who's really fighting for that second place for the bye. What are your thoughts, kind of, Foster? Let me get your thoughts on this game.
Okay. I think, and this is just pure speculation. I don't think the top guys are going to show up on Iman. I'd be surprised. I don't think they'll play to their full potential just because knowing that they're out. I don't want to see that, but it's just a suspicion where it's guys that are like, what's the point? Now, for the guys that do show up, obviously they're going to get a lot more playing time. Come out, have fun. On the flip side, for Ihsan, I think because they're playing for standing, they're gonna bring the heat to Iman. They're gonna be like, look, this is what we're playing for, and let's go out and get it. So, I can see them, running up the score. I can see them, playing super hard. And if history is any predictor, they'll have their first line playing, the full game.
We'll see. Yusuf Siddiqui, what do you think is gonna be key for Ihsan to get the win against Iman?
I think just just having that same chemistry that they take forward, which they already do, and they have. Just moving the ball good, and the goals will come, I think. And not a lot to say, just because you are playing a team that is already not going to make it. So they just have to keep playing their game, and I think they'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're already hearing some chatter. Mr. Saqib Kokar has announced that he will not be attending the last 2 games of the season. So if anything, that makes Iman a favorite to win the game, anyways. But I think if Iman shows up with all of their guys and they still play, there's 2 games at this point. Just play for stats. Get your stats a bit better, score a couple more goals in the season. And for the sake of kind of the competitiveness of the league, if you just sit back and you let, Ihsan just steamroll you just to kind of get back at Taqwa, because Taqwa is cheering for Iman this week to kind of really secure that second place spot. So I think just it'll be interesting to see who shows up from Iman, and for the guys that do show up, credit to them. They're just coming out to play, and for sportsmanship, I think it would be nice to kind of see.
I think Arif Khan's going to try to pad his stats.
Yeah. Oh, hey, he's had a really underrated season in a dark season. He's had a really bright. He's been the shining light in that season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been the star on the team.
For sure. And I'm from Mirda, which is the only team this season to lose to Iman. Mind you, we were missing 4 out of our top 6 picks, as well as one of our GMs. So we were all at a wedding, and I broke my nose that week. So maybe that was a little outlier, but only time will tell. And maybe Iman will finish the season with 3 wins, with a win this week and a win next week. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think kind of moving from, like, now that you are out of the playoffs, you kind of can play for spoiler. You can try coming out and really just knocking Ihsan out of the second place spot and making them play a quarterfinal game, which I think they don't want to do with a couple of the veterans they have on their team. I know they think they need to rest their legs, but it'll be interesting to see.
That's
and
why
yeah,
I think they're gonna play hard. Because why would you not want to have that bye, right? Like if you're you have the potential of finishing first, why would you not want to compete for that?
For sure. I think it'll be interesting to see on this Friday. So moving into kind of next season, registration is almost full. We have, I believe, 25 or 30 spots left in the draft. So please sign up before November 25th. Like, pay your money before November 25th if you want to guarantee your spot in. After November 25th, if you pay, there's no guarantee that you'll get in. You might be on the wait list, or with everyone that's kind of signed up. So please sign up with the link in our Instagram bio as well as in the WhatsApp chat. And your payment, your sign up isn't confirmed until you pay. I'll give a sneak peek to next season. We have Mr. Yusuf Siddiqui here, who's actually going to be GMing with his brother Ibrahim. So if you want to have a chance to be on his team, and potentially be first place again, definitely sign up. Inshallah, we'll finish off the season faster, and we'll get into the next season, inshallah, after that. So yeah, does anyone have any final comments, concerns, things they'd like to say to the viewers before we wrap up?
The only thing I want to say, don't get your feelings hurt. These are just jokes. Have fun. If you felt like your feelings were hurt, I said something, you can always write an email to our complaints department at idgaf@gmail.com. That is
Okay.
I don't give a Foster@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you, Foster. Yes. But yeah, no, seriously, honestly, guys, Jazakallah for watching the podcast. Jazakallah to both Yusufs and Foster for coming on this week. And
Thank you for having me.
it'll be interesting to see, potentially all of us in the playoffs, in a couple of weeks. So good luck, Yusuf and Foster. I just want to say, if you guys manage to somehow choke this, you guys have a 4-point lead in points over Sabr. If you manage to choke this, I think this might be the biggest collapse in Islam history when it comes to.
It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen.
Inshallah for you guys.
We could play with no subs and we'll still play hard. That's it. That's the mentality.
That's a great mentality. Just bringing up some stats from the poll that I put up in the league chat. There's still about 18 people that think that Sabr is going to take the the last final spot over you guys. So it'll be.
I think they're all Solomon Khan on 18 different accounts.
Only
16 of those are Sabr players.
Yeah. Only time will tell. And like Habibi says, trust the process. But yeah, with that, we'll conclude the podcast. Jazakallah for for watching and tuning in, and see you guys next time.